Miracle in Bethlehem, Massachusetts. So we open with this beautiful nursery, and it's all ready. And we hear voiceovers on the phone of this woman we'll learn is Maryanne talking to her adoption attorney. Like, hey, any updates? Hey, what's going on? And it's kind of like a montage. The adoption agency is like, sorry, there's a different couple. Sorry, different couple. And so we're already getting the hint here that Maryanne is like an adopt by herself, and people are choosing couples, which is heartbreaking. And you can just tell that Maryanne is like ready to have this baby, like ready to be mom, gonna be an amazing mom. So the nursery is empty, and she's just like pining, and it's very sad. She, next scene we learn, is a lawyer, and she is doing this pro bono case for this woman for wrongful termination suit. And the woman's like, why aren't your fees taken out? And she's like, it's pro bono, Merry Christmas, get something for your daughter. Very cute. Maryanne is talking to her coworker slash boss about like waiting for a child, and also how her ex-husband just got engaged to a woman like half her age, and her husband left her because she couldn't have children. Heinous. So I guess he'll have children with this young girl. So the coworker is like, need anything? Let me know. Your maternity leave is waiting. You can work from home, whatever you need. And the woman's like, thank you so much. And she very casually mentions that her and this girl are the two top lawyers in the city. What city? I don't know. But they're the top lawyers. It's amazing. And I'm not getting like overworked, stressed vibes. Like I'm getting, you have been preparing this nursery, like you're really good at your job, but I'm not getting like overstressed corporate evil. It's like, this is a good life. Maryanne is doing well. And so she goes home and she's like getting ready for her holidays by herself. And her mom is like, do you want to hang out, some holiday things with me? And she's like, no thanks. And we're not quite sure why she doesn't like her mom yet. Her mom seems like pretty nice. And then so we go over to a different place, and we're not really sure what significance this place is yet, but there's this guy, and he's clearly just like giving like bum like video games, like doing nothing vibes, which his soon-to-be ex-girlfriend lays out for us in a minute. He's watching video games, he's doing the same with his dog, and she's like, your life is going nowhere. When I met you, you were like a rock star. And now you're just doing nothing, couch potato. And he's like, I'm sorry that I'm not who I was. Like, I haven't played music in forever. And this is where the timeline gets weird, because they've been dating for like 6 weeks, but he hasn't played music in like years. So I'm just like, what's going on, Hallmark? But anyway, she's like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Like, make something of your life, Joseph. Goodbye. Joseph. Maryanne. Bethlehem. So Maryanne is hanging out at home. Her faucet is leaking, feeling sorry for herself. She calls the agency one more time and is like, anything comes up, I am ready. She has a cross around her neck. She is like a little bit religious for learning, and she's like, give me guidance. The agency calls. Baby for Maryanne. So exciting. And when is it time for baby? Like around Christmas. So she drives to the place. She gets her baby Natalie. The nurses named her, apparently. They were just calling her Natalie because Natalie means Christmas. Okay. She's so excited. She has her suitcase full of stuff. So we're going to just drive right home. But there is a snowstorm. And it's not safe. She's trying to drive, but it's not safe. And so she's like, fine, let me find an inn. There is no room at the inn for Mary and her child. Shocking. Where is the inn? Bethlehem, obviously. Who does the inn belong to? Joseph's sister. Joseph is like a volunteer, like highway snow plower. So he happens to be there when sister is like, oh my God, we have no room, so sorry. But she has a baby, a day-old baby. So they're like, well, we have a couch, blah, blah. Oh, you know what? No, Joseph has a spare room. No manger for Mary. Spare room at Joseph's house. So Joseph is like, I guess so. And in his spare room, all he keeps is like a guitar, because he just like doesn't play it anymore. So they get to the house, And Mary actually isn't staying in this room. I think Joseph gives her his room, but then also like, yeah, I think he's sleeping in the spare room with the guitar because we only ever see him like sleeping, not like the full room. But that is nice to give the woman with her newborn baby like the actual nice room. So they get there. Um, Maryanne is like, this is my first night with my newborn baby who I just adopted, like, very quickly, by the way. Like, the adoption process, as usual in movies, was just, like, done. Um, and she's like, yeah, in a stranger's house, but, like, surprisingly comfortable, has all her stuff. Joseph goes back on the road to, like, patrol things. His sister brings tons of baby stuff because she is pregnant, obviously. And so she's just in this cute little town. And yeah, the next day she's like, gotta go. But you can't go because the snowstorm is still raging on and the roads are still closed. And so in this time, she gets to go to the church where they're having a fundraiser. Obviously, she meets Joseph's mother and his grandmother and everyone out of nowhere, like truly nowhere. It's like, Joseph, you seem different. What's going on? And as the viewer, I'm also like, yes, this man is not the same video game bro, like what's happening with his life man. Mary's presence has changed him overnight. And so Mary is like sitting with the baby, watching the choir rehearse. And then Joseph comes and sits next to her and is like, I just love music. I feel so like filled with God's light. And I'm like, that is so beautiful. That's really beautiful. But also like, you are not the same man we met at the start of this movie. Like, you have changed instantly. Apparently love does conquer all. And so Mary's like, yeah, I love that too. It's like, I love your cross. It's so beautiful. And so they're just like bonding. And so they go back to the house. They're like sitting by the fire. They're like trimming his tree. They're getting into their childhood memories. Obviously, they're falling in love. Mary wakes up the next morning and is like, where's my baby? And Joseph is like cradling her and like rocking her. And the baby loves Joseph. And Joseph loves this baby. Like, instant family, 24 hours in Bethlehem. They go to like a little Christmas fair the next day. Everything's so fun. And it's really time for Mary to go home, but because the roads are open, but her car won't start, obviously. So they need a foreign part for this foreign car. And she could get a cab, or she could just stay for Christmas. So it's Christmas Eve, and she gets a cute dress from the pregnant sister, and it's like, everyone's gonna love this baby. Oh my God, it'll be so fun. And also, we own this barn, the manger, that was our, father's, and we have to like shut it down because it's kind of ordinance. And she's a lawyer. She's like, no, you don't. So she goes to the Christmas party, shaves the barn. Everyone's so happy. It's all so great. They get home. Oh, and they also dance in the living room. They almost kiss, obviously. They get home, and who is on Joseph's doorstep? The ex-girlfriend from the beginning of the movie. And she's like, who is this? Joseph's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, it's Christmas Eve and I missed you. Who is she? And so the ex-girlfriend is like, when you were with me, you were video game playing bum on the couch. And now 2 days later, you have this new woman and a baby, and your house looks amazing, and you're baking, and you have a tree, and like, what the hell, Joseph? And she's like, look, I don't know her. She's just a stranger. Like, means nothing to me. Obviously, Maryanne hears this. Heartbreaking. And Joseph is just like, I don't know what to tell you. And she's like, so upset. And he's like, look, you're great. I'm just not like the guy for you. And she's just like, whatever. So then Maryanne is like, look, I'm going to go. Joseph's like, wait, no, what? And he goes from just a stranger to me to, you mean so much to me. Why would you leave? And Maryanne's like, because I have my welcome, time to go. So Maryanne decides that she's going to drive home in a cab on Christmas Day. Joseph's sister is coming over with a coffee cake, obviously, and she's like, why would you leave on Christmas Day? And she's like, I just want to be alone with Natalie and, like, have my time, which is fair because she just adopted this baby and had, like, all of 2 seconds with her before crashing into Bethlehem. So she's going home. She gets in her cab. The cab is getting gas, and she's holding on to her cross necklace, like, asking God for guidance again. And somehow the necklace like drops off of her neck where it is like clasping her neck into her purse. And in the purse, she stumbles across the book that was given to her at like the Christmas party for her baby. This Little Light of Mine, which is special because she's talking about music with Jake, and also like he like sang to the baby a little bit, which is cute because he's lost his connection to music. And so obviously this is a sign, and she's like, huh. And then at that exact moment, her mom calls her and is like, hey, last chance for, a little Christmas company. And throughout the movie, we also learned that Maryanne's mom raised her alone, and it was really hard to just trust people and pushed everybody away. And so Maryanne's mom, of course, like reading her thoughts, is like, I know it was hard for you growing up, and I'm sorry that all these things happened, but you shouldn't push people away. And Maryanne is like, you are right. I am so sorry. Let's spend Christmas together, but can you come to Bethlehem, Massachusetts? And mom is like, okay, but like, what are you doing there? And she's like, I'll spend when we get here. So Maryanne hightails her way back to Bethlehem, not that far, and goes to the church. And of course, it's like, I'm back. And Joseph's like, amazing. So they go to Joseph's house afterwards for the gathering. Everything is lovely. Mom comes. Natalie is like, Maryanne is like, let's have this nice mother-daughter moment. And then in the middle of that moment, Joseph brings in the baby. And mom is like, who is this baby? And Maryanne is like, it's your granddaughter. And mom is like, what? And then Joseph sits down next to Maryanne's mom as if they have been like together all their lives. Even they haven't even kissed at this point yet. And Maryanne's mom is like, hi? And Maryanne is like, Joseph has become very special to me. And mom is like, wow, wild times. And so now it's obviously time to go over to Grandpa Jake's barn because that's the Christmas ritual. And it's like Joseph's dad. And we also learned during the movie that Joseph actually stopped playing his music because his dad passed. And he's like been very depressed since. And so like he hasn't played. And so they're at the barn standing around. Sister's giving a speech. Mom's giving a speech. She's like, and this is the point when Jake would sing. And who comes in singing? Joseph. And it's the first time he's played his guitar and sang. And Maryanne is who inspired him to do it. It's so beautiful. And so now it's time for the Christmas picture. And at this point, Maryanne and Joseph still haven't kissed yet. It's really interesting. And even though, like, we're near the end of the movie, I guess it's decided that Maryanne and Joseph are going to date now. Like, Maryanne and her mom are just, like, in the Christmas photo, which is, like, whatever. And they're talking about how this community is so amazing. And Joseph, out of nowhere, is like, do you want me to hold Natalie for the photo? And Maryanne is like, no, I don't want you to hold my newborn baby for the photo. Like, I will hold her for the photo. And then she's like, you know what? You can hold her next year. And Joseph's like, next year. And Maryanne's like, next year. And then they kiss. And the photo was taken. And that's the end of the movie. But here's the thing. Like, all of this is really nice, but I have questions. Like, Maryanne has a successful career. It's not a big, greedy, corporate, evil situation. She has her friend from the beginning of the movie, who's very supportive. She has a whole life. So, like, I do sincerely hope that by ending the movie before they decided to get married and live in Bethlehem forever, like, that was an ending on purpose so that we can all imagine our own endings. And in my ending, like, Maryanne is still going to be a successful lawyer. Like, you know, you can have small town life and the newborn baby and the cute, like, I guess, like, tire store owner, musical boyfriend, husband, and your career. She liked her career. She did pro bono work. If not for her career, we wouldn't have the manger to sing in. So, like, yeah, I just hope that they do some, you know, whatever. And also, Joseph has lived in this town for his entire life. So I think that, like, maybe Joseph, I don't know if I call him Jake, Joseph and Maryanne spend some time at Maryanne's, like, usual life in her old apartment with the beautiful nursery set up. And then they can visit and they can have this like little anchor. And maybe eventually they move there. But like, I do hope that Maryanne did not immediately move to Bethlehem, because even in the Bible, Mary, and Joseph like left Bethlehem after the baby was born. So that is Miracle in Bethlehem, Massachusetts. And it was a touching movie about the miracle of Christmas and what happens when your car is stopped in a charming town after you adopt a baby on Christmas Eve. Or Christmas Eve. Eve. Today's were a little confusing. Bye!